Our incredible Earth is, in its truest essence, a massive and grand geological museum, a place that meticulously preserves the ancient traces of time, forever engraved by the silent, relentless chiseling of Mother Nature. Through hundreds of millions of years of epic tectonic shifts, the vast and expansive land of China has become globally famous for its breathtakingly majestic landscapes. But hidden deep within the heart of these arid, unforgiving Rocky Mountains are geological masterpieces that are absolutely bizarre. There is a horizontal rock mass that looks exactly like the giant hand of a creator reaching out into thin air. There are highly primal, corresponding rock clusters that perfectly symbolize the ultimate birth of life. There are even colossal boulders sitting right in the middle of modern traffic highways where every single human effort to bulldoze them has completely failed. Even though modern geology has successfully decoded every specific mineral characteristic or complex erosion mechanism, the sheer, random coincidences of nature still leave us with a massive amount of room for deep reflection. Today's journey will take you through the 10 most incredibly weird and mysterious natural rock formations in China, where every single ridge or crack perfectly reflects the long-lasting, transformative power of our planet. Let's dive right into this wild expedition to see that human imagination sometimes still falls way behind the epic arrangements of Mother Nature. Don't forget to share down in the comments section below which rock formation left you feeling the most mind-blown or deeply curious. 1. The Giant Spirit Hand, a mythical mark on the Chazi mountain range. If you were ever a massive fan of the classic 1986 version of the Journey to the West TV series, you might easily recognize the epic, majestic scenery of Chazi Mountain. Located in Henan Province, this mountain is wildly famous for its jagged, dramatic cliffs that made such a stunning appearance on the small screen. However, beyond those legendary cinematic shots, this place hides an incredibly unique, horizontal granite rock formation. This rock stretches along the mountain ridge and is shaped exactly like the giant, sprawling hand of some almighty, mythical entity. This stone hand rests flat against the smooth rock surface, featuring naturally elongated stone fingers. The gracefully curving, deeply weathered joint lines make it incredibly easy for any observer to imagine the hand of a giant god stretching out to take a peaceful rest. Within the rich folklore of the Central Plains region, this rock has long been deeply tied to the legend of the giant spirit god, Zhu Shen. This is a deity possessing the raw power to move mountains and fill oceans in ancient Chinese mythology. For countless generations, the local residents have always looked at this formation as a highly sacred, protective symbol for the entire mountain region. A profound sense of peace and absolute reverence for the laws of nature is always present when standing right in front of the giant spirit hand. From a strict scientific perspective, researchers point out that this is simply the pure result of frost wedging. The relentless, stubborn erosion of rainwater over millions of years has silently worn away the softer rock layers surrounding it. This process accidentally left behind the distinct, mind-bending shape of the much harder granite block on top. The magical coincidence between the sculpting lines of Mother Nature and human folklore has turned this spot into a heavily magnetic cultural landmark. 2. The Yin-Yang Stones, the philosophy of balance in the heart of Danxia Mountain. Unlike absolutely any other scenic spot in the entire world, Danxia Mountain in Guangdong Province delivers an incredibly intense visual impact. The appearance of two highly primal, corresponding rock formations here has left both the scientific community and tourists completely stunned. First up is the Yangyuan Stone, Male Stone, a towering red sandstone pillar soaring 28 meters high, standing proudly right on the mountainside. This rock boasts a highly sensitive yet incredibly powerful shape, reaching straight up into the sky like the ultimate symbol of vibrant life. In total contrast to that bold display, the Yinyuan Stone, Female Stone, is a sedimentary rock crevice hiding discreetly under the thick, lush shadows of the deep valley. This specific crevice features soft, incredibly deep contours, creating a flawless, perfect contrast to the towering Yangyuan Stone located far in the distance. Since ancient times, the local folks living around Danxia Mountain have viewed these two rocks as the literal embodiment of the yin and yang philosophy, seeing this as a miraculous setup by nature to constantly remind humanity of the eternal balance between two absolute opposites. When you take in the epic scenery here, the initial feeling of shyness quickly gives way to pure, unadulterated amazement, even though geology firmly explains that this is the direct result of collapsing, faulting, and the weathering process of Danxia rock over tens of millions of years. The parallel existence of this stone couple remains a massive, head-scratching question for human intellect. Is this entirely a random geological fluke, or is nature trying to send us a deeply profound philosophical message? 3. The Blue Dragon Stone, the immortal rock in the middle of the metropolis. In Wanzhou district, located within the mega-city of Chongqing, there is a bizarre phenomenon that leaves absolutely anyone shocked and highly skeptical. It is a gigantic, natural rock sitting defiantly right in the middle of a heavily congested, modern urban traffic road. This boulder is famously named the Blue Dragon Stone, Qinglong Stone, and it has been sitting there for hundreds of years, way before any of these modern high-rises even popped up. When the aggressive wave of urbanization swept through Wanzhou, engineers repeatedly brought in heavy-duty machinery to completely obliterate this rock. They desperately wanted to bulldoze it flat to create a perfectly straight, modern highway, just like anywhere else. However, this is exactly when the most mysterious, spine-chilling stories started emerging, totally challenging human understanding. According to the construction workers on site, the rock-breaking process continuously ran into inexplicable, wild technical failures. Heavy excavators would suddenly stall out and die for no reason. The hardest, diamond-tipped drill bits would instantly shatter into pieces the second they touched the rock's surface. A heavy sense of sheer helplessness washed over the entire construction crew when the absolute best modern tech completely surrendered to a supposedly lifeless boulder. The intense clash between the raw power of machinery and the stubborn endurance of nature sparked a fierce wave of debate. Local residents firmly believed that the Blue Dragon Stone was a highly spiritual entity guarding the vital energy veins of this specific land. Ultimately, faced with continuous, unexplainable equipment breakdowns and massive pressure from community faith, the city government had to fully back down. They made the wild decision to completely alter the road's architectural blueprints just to keep the rock exactly where it originally sat. Today, the boulder serves as arguably the most unique traffic median in the entire world. It stands as a bold symbol of humanity's utter helplessness in the face of the mysteries that nature and spirituality continue to tightly hold on to. 4. Twin Breasts Peak, the symbol of creation in the Buyi homeland. Leaving the bustling, chaotic vibe of Chongqing behind, we head to Zhenfeng County in Guizhou Province to admire the Twin Breasts Peak, Shuangru Peak. Amidst a massively expansive karst valley landscape, two twin limestone mountains rise up with an eerily perfect sense of symmetry. Their shapes flawlessly mimic the beautiful breasts of a woman, creating a scene that feels both deeply sacred and incredibly intimate. For the indigenous Buyi ethnic people who have lived around this region for ages, this mountain is not just some lifeless limestone block. They highly revere the Twin Breasts Peak as the literal incarnation of Mother Earth, the one who has nourished and fiercely protected humanity since the very dawn of time. This is the ultimate symbol for the rich fertility of the farming fields and the vibrant reproduction of all living things in the area. The karstification process, dragging on for millions of years, accidentally sculpted these two limestone peaks into a ridiculously rare symmetrical structure. The underground water currents and heavy winds smoothed out all the sharp, jagged edges, leaving behind soft, lively, and vibrant curves. Every time the heavy rains come, the locals look toward the Twin Breasts Peak with deep, profound gratitude for the rich blessings of nature. The sheer beauty of this mountain changes depending on the viewing angle and the specific time of day, delivering an indescribably magical, surreal vibe. This is the clearest, most undeniable proof that nature can craft highly symbolic, epic masterpieces without needing a single touch from human hands. 5. Doniu Stone. The unique formation in the countryside of Sanmiao, tucked away in Sanmiao town, located in Hechuan district, Chongqing, the Doniu Stone is an incredibly fascinating, natural sculptural masterpiece. Right in the middle of a peaceful, idyllic rural landscape with endless green fields, a massive rock weighing dozens of tons shoots up with an insanely peculiar shape. The rock features a giant, widely flared head, yet it fiercely balances on a dramatically shrunken, incredibly fragile base, creating a miraculous, gravity-defying balance between heaven and earth. The most special detail lies in a small stone niche carved right into the middle of its body, where the ancients respectfully placed majestic, solemn worship statues. For the local folks, the Doniu Stone isn't just a familiar landmark, but it is deeply tied to the epic legend of a divine buffalo that was tamed by a magical, sacred lasso. The rough texture of the sandstone layers, violently peeled away over thousands of years, has created highly delicate, rolling ridges, and deep crevices. The wildly narrowed base underneath was compared by the ancients to the deep marks left on the buffalo's neck when it was tightly choked by the divine rope in the legend. The uneven, aggressive erosion from rainwater and extreme temperature shifts accidentally molded an absolutely one-of-a-kind mechanical wonder. The lifeless rock suddenly becomes as vibrant and alive as a deeply spiritual painting sitting right in the heart of a peaceful valley. Tourists visiting this spot usually spend a ton of time observing the extreme contrast between the colossal rock mass and its incredibly slender base, trying to figure out nature's ultimate balancing secret. The Du Niu stone is the ultimate symbol for the crossover between epic geological beauty and the pure soul of Chinese rural country life. 6. Chongqing Mushroom Rock, the masterpiece of pedestal erosion. The mountainous region of Chongqing, natively possessing a rich variety of limestone and sandstone landforms, is the proud home of the mind-blowing Mushroom Rock. This rock stands out boldly as a wild milestone, marking the ruthless, yet incredibly magical passage of time. You will see a massively swollen top section, meters wide, balancing precariously on an insanely thin, fragile pedestal. This shape looks exactly like a giant stone mushroom, growing wildly amidst the deep, expansive green canopy of the high mountains. Unlike your standard solid block formations, the mushroom rock is a textbook example of differential erosion in geology. The lower rock layers possess a much weaker mechanical strength, so they were rapidly chewed away by heavy winds and flash floods over millions of years. Meanwhile, the significantly harder rock layer on top managed to keep its original shape, acting exactly like a protective roof, shielding the vulnerable body underneath. Viewed from afar, the rock gives observers a highly fragile, nerve-wracking feeling, as if it could snap and collapse at any given second. But in reality, it has survived countless aggressive geological shifts and brutal natural disasters, standing rock-solid for centuries. The Mushroom Rock doesn't just attract hardcore nature lovers. It is also a highly valuable reference point for scientists. They heavily study this spot to better understand the rapid surface weathering rates in this highly volatile southwest region. 7. Ladystone Peak, the precarious figure on top of Wulong standing majestically on the very peak of Wulong Mountain in Wenling City, Zhejiang Province, is the incredibly imposing Ladystone Peak, Shifu Ren. This rock shoots high into the sky like a natural stone statue, meticulously chiseled out by the very hands of time itself. Looking at it from a distance, the rock bears the unmistakable, vivid silhouette of an ancient woman leaning against a terrifyingly steep cliff. The eyes of this stone woman seem to gaze intensely out toward the vast, stormy, and turbulent ocean. In the rich folklore treasure trove of the coastal Zhejiang region, this rock is deeply tied to a heavily emotional story about pure maternal love and ultimate loyalty. The tale speaks of a devoted wife desperately waiting for her husband to return from the sea, only to be forever turned to stone due to her endless, agonizing longing. For hundreds of years, local fishermen heading out to sea have always looked up at the mountain peak as a rock-solid, incredibly reassuring spiritual anchor. From a geological perspective, this is the pure result of granite erosion running along the vertical fault lines, slicing down the rock's body. The harsh sea breeze, packed with heavy salt, along with rain and fog, has aggressively worn away the softer rock ridges surrounding it. This intense process left behind a single, solitary stone tower, bearing a wildly lifelike human shape, standing amidst the vast, empty sky. Ladystone Peak isn't just a natural wonder, it is the absolute, beating soul of the windy, sun-scorched land of Wenling. 8. The Flying Stone, a drop of stone among the clouds of Huangshan. If you ever watched the 1987 version of the TV series Dream of the Red Chamber, you will definitely remember the iconic rock that shows up right in the opening sequence. That is exactly the Flying Stone, Fei Lai Shi, easily one of the most famous symbols of the Huangshan, Yellow Mountain region in Anhui Province. This rock stands over 12 meters tall, balancing perfectly upright on a ridiculously narrow, flat stone base, right on the razor edge of a terrifyingly deep abyss. This heart-stopping scene gives us the wild sensation that the boulder just literally fell straight out of the sky and magically landed right on the absolute edge of the cliff. Folklore has long passed down the epic story that this is the leftover, unused stone from when the goddess Nuva was patching up the broken sky. That specific stone fell down to the mortal realm and intentionally chose the peak of Huangshan as its permanent, eternal resting place. From a strict scientific viewpoint, The flying stone is a classic erratic boulder formed entirely by the intense frost wedging process. The massive weathering of the granite block caused the surrounding rocks to completely collapse and wash away over time, leaving only the central core rock standing magically balanced amidst the endless, rolling sea of clouds in Huangshan. Standing right in front of the flying stone, humans will instantly feel their own insignificance when faced with the violent, aggressive geological shifts of the planet. This is an absolute must-visit destination for anyone wanting to witness nature totally and utterly defying gravity. 9. The wind-wobbling stone, the gravity-defying anchor on the coast. Sitting precariously on a coastal cliff located on Dongshan Island in Fujian Province, the wind-wobbling stone, Fengdongxi, is a balancing wonder that is almost impossible to find anywhere else. This colossal rock weighs over 200 tons, yet it aggressively leans on an incredibly tiny, hyper-narrow contact point with the bedrock underneath. Looking closely at its position, you would totally think that just a light push or a massive gust of wind would be more than enough to send it tumbling down into the deep ocean. The absolute magic of the wind-wobbling stone is that when the heavy, aggressive sea winds blast through, the massive rock can actually wobble and shake slightly, but it has never once actually fallen off its spot. For hundreds of years, this exact location has been violently battered by countless brutal typhoons, packing horrifying destructive power. Even the historic massive earthquake in 1918 leveled numerous structures all around the area, but the wind-wobbling stone stubbornly stood its ground perfectly. The island locals have long viewed this boulder as a highly sacred, protective guardian spirit, watching over and ensuring safe voyages out to the wild sea. From a strict physics standpoint, this is an absolutely flawless math problem regarding the center of gravity and friction forces of weathered granite landforms. This millimeter-perfect, insane balance is the direct result of millions of years of meticulous polishing by the ruthless hands of the wind and ocean waves. The wind-wobbling stone, along with the flying stone, are easily the two most iconic representatives of nature, completely flipping off standard laws of physics. An intense feeling of shock and deep skepticism will always grip you when you witness this giant rock literally swaying in the heavy wind with your own eyes. 10. Monkey watching the sea. Pure stillness amidst the endless sea of clouds. Also located in the epic, majestic Huangshan mountain range, right on top of Lion Peak, sits a rock carrying a shape that is incredibly poetic and deeply reflective. That is exactly the monkey watching the sea, Hozi Guanhai, stone, a completely flawless masterpiece of the natural weathering process. This rock looks exactly like a wild monkey sitting hunched over, chilling right on the edge of a terrifyingly sheer, vertical cliff. Both of the monkey's arms look like they are wrapping around its head, its eyes quietly and thoughtfully gazing down into the deep, echoing valley below with a deeply contemplative vibe. The sheer awesomeness of this rock is tightly tied to the signature, magical sea of clouds phenomenon of the Huangshan region. When the thick, rolling fog floods in and completely fills up the valley, the stone monkey looks like it is sitting right on the shore of a massive, violently churning ocean of pure white clouds. And when the clouds finally clear out, the rock quietly stares down at the lush, endlessly green forest canopies and the winding, twisting streams far off in the distance. The image of the stone monkey sitting in total, absolute silence amidst the vastness of nature doesn't just create a highly unique scenic highlight, it also evokes a weirdly calming, deeply peaceful sensation right in the soul of the tourists. It feels as if that monkey has literally been sitting there for thousands of years, tirelessly watching the endless changes of the mortal world without ever getting tired. The monkey watching the sea is the absolute perfect final puzzle piece to complete this epic picture of the weirdest rock formations in China. Going through this wild journey exploring these 10 bizarre rock formations, we quickly realize that nature is an absolute master architect. Mother Nature doesn't just possess terrifying, world-altering power, but she is also a highly brilliant, talented artist, delivering lines that are packed with pure poetry. Every single rock or cliff we just passed by holds its very own, deeply unique historical and cultural story. From the stubborn resilience of the Blue Dragon Stone to the gravity-defying beauty of the wind-wobbling stone, they all force us to bow our heads in absolute respect and awe. Thank you so much for tagging along with me on this incredibly fascinating, mind-blowing expedition today. I really hope this info gave you a fresh, new perspective on the sheer magic of our blue planet. Drop your thoughts down in the comments section below and let me know which rock formation left you feeling the most impressed and totally haunted. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so we can jump into even more epic, mysterious discovery journeys together in the future. Goodbye for now, and I will catch you guys in the next thrilling adventure.